Father God, I just want to come before you, Lord, and invite you to be with us. And Lord, I just pray, Lord, even as I share the word with this group of youth whom you love, Lord, I pray, God, that you speak through me, O God, and you let your words, O Lord, flow through me, that Lord, that they will hear what you're going to say to them tonight. That, Lord, that you just speak to them from this minute right on. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Okay. And this chase. Yeah. So it's time to chase your distractions away. Pay attention, okay? So, in our lives today, we are constantly chasing after someone or something, right? So whatever point of life we are in, there are things in our lives that we are just deeply engrossed in, and it becomes like almost everything in our lives. And so like one day, I was just browsing through my Facebook, news feed, but it was like it was the old layout. I don't like the new layout now. Yeah. So I was browsing through, then I chanced upon this post that my friend posted. Can you see? Yeah. I knew this was coming. I knew y'all all be like rolling your eyes and like thinking, wow, seriously, you're so cheesy and so like geeky. Oh my goodness, like math equation as a statement on Facebook. Come on, yeah. But yeah, I mean that's my first reaction also. I was like thinking like, what? I said, pay attention. So the first thought that came in my mind was like, oh, it's so geeky. It's like, oh, okay. So yeah, but anyway, he's a math major, so he knows like all these kind of things. Yeah, so I was thinking, wow. But another thought that came to my mind was that a lot of us actually have these similar vector spaces in our lives. Do you all not understand what's vector space? No. You all don't understand, right? But never mind. Yeah, just know that it's a space, okay? So it's a space that, whatever is inside is being contained inside, okay? Just know that it's a space. Yeah, that's enough, okay? Think something is the name of your friend. Yeah, so basically for this guy, right, in his vector space consists of like music, mathematics, and his girlfriend. And that's like everything that he's chasing after, he's being passionate about. And similarly in our lives, we have these similar vector spaces where it contains our passions, our dreams, the friendships and families that we treasure. Okay, so yeah, that's just what I thought when I saw this statement. Yeah. But before I summarize, let me just define what is endless and what is chase. As a science student, I like definitions. So, endless is having or seeming to have no end or limit. Okay? And chase is the act of pursuing someone or something. That's the noun form. And the verb form is to pursue in order to catch or catch up with. Okay, Okay. So story time begins. I'll tell the story out lah. Y'all can read if y'all want to lah. If y'all don't like listen to me narrating for you, think it's too boring, then it's okay lah. Then you can read. Yeah. Okay, so to give a context first, okay. At that time, right, King David just became anointed as king over Judah. So previously he was like being chased by Saul and everything. Then after Saul died, and after that he became king over Judah. Then there's this guy, called Abner. He is the right-hand man of Ishbosheth, who is Saul's other son. I think you all know Saul has a son called Jonathan, who is David's best friend. But I think hardly any one of us are very clear about this other son called Ishbosheth. So basically, Abner is the right-hand man of this guy. And Abner actually appointed him as king over Israel. Yep. So then one day, never mind, I'll just show you first. Yeah, so one day, they decided to have a battle with each other. Like, so David's side versus Ishbosheth's side. So imagine like two troops coming to battle place and fighting, want to fight lah. But one strange thing was they decided to be like very civilized about it. Instead of like everyone charge, from this side charge to each other, they said, okay, they agreed, okay, why don't we send out equal numbers from each side of our army, and then we fight each other. So like maybe so team A sends out like 12, then the other team sends out like 12 or so, or like 100 versus 100, that kind of thing, like, yeah. So basically, okay, fast forward, they fight, then God's favor was upon David, so David's side won. Okay, so after David won, right, Abner decided to like go back to where he belonged, so he went away. But then came this second guy on the screen, Asahel, right? He decided to chase after Abner. Don't ask me why he decided to chase. In the Bible also just said that, he's the brother of the person who led David's army, who is Joab. And so he decided to chase after Abner. And he just chased and ran after Abner. Abner said, no, stop chasing me. But he still continued chasing. Yeah. So until the point, right, Abner decided, okay, since you're not going to stop, I'm just going to kill you. So he turned around and stabbed him with a sword and killed him. Yeah, just like that. Just say ouch. Okay. Yeah, amuse me, thanks. Yeah, so after Asahel was dead, right? This person, Joab, as I briefly mentioned just now, he's the right-hand man of David's side. So he was leading the army of David. So Asahel and Joab are brothers. So after Asahel was dead, Joab decided to come after Abner now and seek revenge for the brother. Yeah, so he decided to chase after Abner. So that's where your second chase is. These brothers like to chase after Abner, I don't know why. Yeah, and so he was chasing, and Abner was saying, he said to him that, stop chasing me. This is just going to end up in bitterness, and it'll be endless, it'll be meaningless, There's no point going on and on about chasing me. You chase me, next time somebody from my side want to come chase you again, then want to kill you, then you want to kill the person again. It will go on and on, it wouldn't stop. So Joab thought, yeah, it makes sense, it's true, So, all right, civilized person, yes, yeah. So he decided to stop, and that's the end of part 1 of the story, okay? So, are y'all still with me? Good, okay. So, part 2 of the story takes place in chapter 3. Okay, what happened here was that Abner was being accused by Ishbosheth, the person that he faithfully served. And so he was being accused, and he was very upset about it. So he decided to come to David and say, I want to be on your side. Okay, I want to betray Ishbosheth now. So King David said, okay, yes, okay, so we'll come up with a plan, then you go back first, okay? You go back first. Then, so Joab, right, when he learned about this matter, he was like, what? How can you, trust him? Maybe he just came to deceive you, and maybe he just came to, trick you and make you think that he came to spy on us, maybe. Yeah. And so he just went, he didn't even tell David or something. He just decided to send his messengers after Abner. Again, right, chase after the same person again, after the brothers incident, and now again. So, I don't know, yeah. So, yeah, he just decided to chase him again, and this time he killed him. He really killed him this time. Yeah. Sorry, this is you're all above 13, so I can talk about killing and whatever stuff. Okay, so, yeah, it's PG, yeah. So, but we can see, right, that this second time that Joab chased after Abner is definitely not simply because that he just wants to,
seek revenge for his brother anymore. There's something deeper than that. There's some other reason behind that particular chase of his. All right, so now that I've told you all like the story that I'm going to share, and y'all can see for yourself and hear for yourself that it's actually about like 3 different chases, right? Or do you all only hear 2 or 1? 3, right? Okay. Yep. So these 3 chases. So basically the first one was Asahel's chase, right? And then followed by Joab's chase number 1 and Joab's chase number 2. So from these 3 chases, we can actually identify from them individually 3 different reasons why we ourselves are currently chasing after things endlessly. So let's take a look at Asahel's chase, the first one. Okay. So in the first chase, in the first chase, as you all can read, you all want to read the whole thing, but it's okay, you can just read the ones in red, they're more important. So in verse 19, right, he says, he chased Abner, turning neither to the right nor to the left as he pursued him. And then in verse 21 again, he says, but Asahel would not stop chasing him. Then in verse 23, it repeated again, but Asahel refused to give up the pursuit. So, don't you think that this guy is actually a very stubborn guy? He's like so persistent and so stubborn and obstinate in going after Abner. Yeah. And stubbornness is now the first reason that I'm going to talk about, which is the reason to why we chase endlessly. Okay? We can be like Asahel at times, obstinate and stubborn as a mule. We insist on running after a lot of things in our life. We lead like busy lifestyles. We do a lot in school, and we have to chase. We are constantly chasing things. We are constantly chasing deadlines. We are chasing people to finish what they need to do, so that we can meet the deadlines. And we are chasing results. We are chasing grades. We chase looks. We chase a lot of things. And in this society, it just repeatedly emphasizes on all these things. Right? Like the world keeps telling us, you need to do well to get to the best school, get to university, get the best job, be a manager, be a CEO or doctor, lawyer, or what. The world is telling us, you have to be beautiful and handsome, and that kind of thing. It tells us all these things, and it drives in us, that we have to be stubborn in pursuing this, that we have to be stubborn, we cannot slack, we cannot give any room to laziness, and we cannot just relax and do nothing. We have to be doing something all the time, and we have to be stubborn about it. And parents will also breathe down our necks, right? When for studies, some of y'all, anyone ever experienced boy, I got study or not? Come on already, don't play computer games, go and study. Or go start reading your magazines, go study. Or that kind of thing, They are driving those thoughts in us and causing us to forcing us to think that, okay, we have to be set on this path, we have to go about doing this. Okay, but I'm saying this not to say that, don't study or don't totally or forget about studying, forget about all these grades and stuff. It's not about this, okay? Rather, I'm saying that it's not a healthy thing to be stubborn about something which is not what God's asking us to chase. Okay, and what is God asking us to chase? That I will touch on later. So, because in the end, right, if we chase all these things, right, they will just end up chasing us instead. Just like how Asahel was killed by Abner when he just stubbornly chased him. So don't stubbornly chase something such that it becomes your everything and ends up chasing you instead. Okay? Yeah, for example, right, like just now I said about the good grades thing. I can actually like testify to it myself. Like when I was doing my A levels, right, and I know that I got a C for like my geography, and it's like I used to get an A for it like during my exams and tests lah. So it was like when I saw the C on my exams, the results slip when it was passed to me by my teacher, I was like, huh, a C? Are my eyes playing trick on me, or is it really like a C, And it's like from a student who like O levels who did very well and then go into a JC, and then in JC I was expecting like somewhat better results, but the results didn't come lah. And I know some of y'all may think like, C was very good, why are you so unhappy for what? I'm like, yeah, but it's different for different people. Yeah, so I thank God that He is in my life, because if He's not in my life, at that point of time, I would probably be even much more depressed than I had been. Yeah, just because of that C lah. And it's because of that incident, right, which I realized something of myself, that I grew up actually, chasing persistently after like grades and performance, because like along the way as I grew up, people will say, oh, I study very well, good, very good. And then, okay, yeah, so to live up to expectations, proved, so I just stubbornly like go on to want to shine in like my academics and all the things that I do well in lah. Yeah, so yeah, if I had not had that setback at that time, right, I don't know how I would carry on my life. I'll probably, now in uni, right, I'll probably still like be very upset each time I don't do very well in my tests. And now universities is like super difficult, seriously. And yeah, it's very difficult and it's very competitive. So those who are thinking, right, really prepare yourself for it. Yeah. So the thing is, as it says here, right, don't chase until it starts chasing me. Don't let these grades or something become something that affects me and cause me to like just be so upset and be so downcasted, and don't let it eat you up. And another thing is, perhaps, I don't know, like maybe some of the girls on like diet or something, and chase after like being slim and looking nice and impressing people or whatnot, and end up dieting and have bad eating habits, and ultimately, right, that will end up chasing us, because when the bad habits starts to show itself in the form of physical like problems, those things starts to chase us, and it's bad for us, and God doesn't want us to chase after these things and end up that way. Okay, now we move on to like the second chase. So the second chase is Joab chasing after Abner after Asahel was killed. So in this chase, right, he was pursuing for revenge's sake. Okay? So, well, his brother was killed, so naturally he wants to like seek revenge, right? So the second reason why we chase endlessly is unforgiveness. Okay? With this, I refer to like specifically certain people in our lives where we actually chase out of unforgiveness. We can either be outrightly unfriendly towards the person, or we can hold back whatever that we have to say and judge them inside of us. They may not hear it from you directly, but each time they walk past us, they can probably sense that tension, yeah, when they're around us, that uneasiness, around us, that kind of thing. So in those ways, we are actually like chasing people. We are chasing them because we cannot forgive them. And we're leaving them on the run from whatever scoldings we may have for them, whatever judging glares we may have for them. So I believe all of us here have some conflicts one way or another, whether it's with your friends or with like your family. And that unforgiveness can cause us to chase after these people whom we cannot forgive. So remember in church camp, Pastor actually preached about forgiveness. I'm talking about unforgiveness, but let's talk about forgiveness. What is forgiveness? He said that it is absorbing the pain instead of inflicting it. Okay, so if we harbor unforgiveness, it will mean that we are chasing those people in order to inflict pain on them. And I realized through the camp itself that I have a tinge of unforgiveness for my dad, for my father. And for those who are close to me, you'll probably hear me share with you before that, I don't share a very close relationship with my father, and he's not a person who expresses his thoughts and his affection and love for his family members that well. And I guess I grew up kind of resenting this, and this somehow just leads to, that unforgiveness in my heart. And it shows up in sometimes, I can talk to him in not very nice tones. Okay, y'all just imagine that, okay? Yeah, though probably it's hard, but yeah. But okay, you can ask Terrence maybe. Yeah. So that is how like I chase after him because of that unforgiveness in my heart And I remember like recently, like maybe beginning of this year or something, I can't really remember. Like there was this miscommunication between me and him. So I was gonna go home from church. It's quite late at night, and I called him whether like you can come and pick me up I was with like Candy, and then I was like, and at that point we were trying to flag a cab as well, and there was just, so I called him and said, oh, maybe if you get a cab, then you don't have to send me back, and you don't have to come and fetch me back, that sort of thing. So like it didn't come out quite clear, I think, when we both were like talking to each other on the phone. So I ended up waiting for him. I waited, and I called him again. I asked him, oh, where are you? Then he's like, I'm at home. Then I'm like, huh? You're at home? Like, oh man, what to do? It's like so late, and quite late and I was just like quite upset at that point, so I went home feeling I didn't feel very good. I was like quite sulky, and then I went back and like just say, oh, like I just spoke to him, and like we both kind of argued in a way, and trying each thinking that we didn't say something wrong to each other when we were conversing, whether he should come or he should not come, that kind of thing. So like I thought I said something, and he thought he heard something, so we both like don't know what really went on, and in the end, it was quite an unpleasant argument that went on that night. So that was one incident which I remember, like how I actually show that how I like that unforgiveness for him, that kind of bitterness or that resentment for him, but thank God through the church camp, like God showed this out to me and He's just helping me along the way to be able to love him even more. And so instead of inflicting the hurt back on him, right, to absorb whatever hurt it is, and to love him because he's still my father, right? Yeah. And so I urge all of you, who have issues with your parents, to really just stop chasing after them, but start forgiving them. Okay, not just your parents, but whatever friendship conflicts that you may have, stop chasing after those people and start forgiving them. Okay. The third point, the third chase, was when Joab chased Abner the second time. Yeah. So at this time, right, this part is quite hazy why he chased after Abner, okay? But one thing that stems from this is that he's actually chasing Abner out of fear. Okay, fearfulness. Why do I say so? Okay, so in the conversation that they had, right, like I was telling you, he was telling David that, he's just here to deceive you, and he's like, gonna do, he's being bad, he's not here for a good reason, you don't believe him at all, okay, then, yeah, but that's just like, that's what we hear, but that may not be just totally what he meant, and in his heart, maybe there's just that fear, that, Abner is here, I cannot let him come to join David's camp and army. He is less capable as I am, and he will be a threat to my position in the military camp, in the camp. And so there was this fear in him. That's why Joab decided to chase Abner and get rid of him once and for all. So, okay. A show of hands here now. Who have a fear of, how many of us here have like fears? Fear of something, like fear of heights, fear of crocodiles. I don't know, I'm just random. Fear of cockroach. Fear of lizards. Anything lah. Okay, so every one of us here have some kind of fear, right? Am I right to say that? Every one of you, none of us, I don't think any one of us are actually fearless people, right? Yep. So tonight, I just want to touch on like this particular fear that we all probably experience. Yeah, I know I, for one, experience it. So I don't know about all of you, but I'm thinking that it should be something that we all experience. And that is, the fear of how people view us, our identities. Where does it lie? For Joab, he placed his identity in his work, in his role as the commander-in-chief in command of like David's army. And for us, where do we place our identity? We try very hard sometimes in our groups of friends, in what we do. We try a lot to blend in with them so that we get accepted. We try to do well in everything that we do so that we get good remarks from people, good comments from people, and just to feel like, we have the sense of belonging somewhere. And yeah. So for example, some stuff that we do, to blend with people are like, your group of friends are like gossiping about somebody else that they don't like. So you just, as much as, you shouldn't gossip, but, if you just stay away, they'll be like, why are you like that? Then they'll be like, they may end up gossiping about you instead, right? So you just go up to them and, you join them, sit down there with them and talk with them. And that's just one way. And the other way is, I guess, we all pick up the lingo that our friends speak, right? Like, to show that, we are as cool as them, like we are like, oh, hi, like, hey, dude, like, oh, wow. Okay, so, obviously I'm not one who says that. Yeah, so, we use all these ways to like reach to our friends and try to gain some security and gain some, belonging and acceptance from them. And it's tied to my first point as well, the point about us stubbornly chasing after things, because of our fears, and that's why we chase after things stubbornly. Okay, just to prep ourselves up. So at the end of the day, right, what I want to say is, as hard as we may try, we're just, admit it, we're an insecure bunch. We just use like titles, number of friends we have on Facebook, followers on Twitter, I don't even use it, yeah. And, to measure our worth and value in all these things, like, oh, you have a lot of followers means, good, Like, you have a lot of friends, 1,100 friends on Facebook. How many do you actually talk to them? Yeah. So, we end up chasing all these other things in our lives. Yeah, we end up chasing all these other things in our lives just to chase for security. But fear should not be why we are chasing things or people, because our security should never ever come from them. So don't let your fear of how people view you be something that causes you, to want to chase after people or chase after achievements, performance. I don't know what else there are that you face. So the question comes, who or what then should we be chasing? In Proverbs 11:19 says, as righteousness leads to life, so he who pursues evil pursues it to his own death. Okay, this was true for Asahel, wasn't it? But not that he was like being an evil guy trying to chase Abner. But in the original Hebrew word of evil, it means displeasure or like bad. Basically it means something that is not good for us. Okay, so when we pursue something that is not good for us, it will lead us not to life, but death. And by death, right, what I mean is, in terms of, this phrase that we often use, don't court your own death. Yeah. So it refers to trouble, seeking trouble, that is. And so contrary to this, we are called to pursue righteousness, because it is righteousness that leads to life. And in 1 Timothy 6:11, right, Paul also tells us that we should pursue righteousness, godliness, faith, love, endurance, and gentleness. Or in another version, it says patience as instead of endurance. Yeah, so you see, these characteristics, right, that are mentioned, what are they? They are actually traits of God, isn't it? God himself is righteous. God himself is godly, definitely. He is faithful. He loves us. He's patient with us. He's an enduring God. He's a gentle God. So, by pursuing these traits of God, do you see now, then, that we are simply called to chase after who? Somebody answer me? That's very weak, Let's try that again. Never mind, yeah. We are called to chase after God. Right? God's the one we are called to chase after. He is a God who is so worthy to be chased after, and there's really no one else more worthy than he can be. So, and if we read on in 1 Timothy 6, verses 15 and 16, right? Paul also continues to say and declare, that God is a God who gives life to everything. He is the blessed and only ruler, the King of kings, the Lord of lords, who alone is immortal and who lives in unapproachable light, whom no one has seen or can see. To him be honor and might forever. So how then can we not chase after such a great God? He is truly the God who is endless, And based on my definition, He's unlimited. I said endless means no limits, right? So, this is a God who is an endless God. He's an unlimited God. Amen. So, right now we shall. Yeah, I shouldn't show this first. I'll tease you a bit, yeah. So, y'all can wait for it, yeah. Yeah, so He's a God who is endless, who is unlimited, right? And I know that, sometimes, in our lives, we are very tempted by a lot of things of the world. That's why we end up chasing after everything else except God. And, well, definitely this chase is not going to be like an easy one. I didn't say it's simple. Yeah, I didn't say that it was going to be a simple and easy chase at all, to chase after God. Chasing after God requires us to fight battles in our lives. And like, if y'all were here during when we just shared, we are called to raise a battle cry against what the world tells us. Amen? Amen, that's nice. Yeah, very good. Yeah. And it also requires us to take radical calls in our lives, to do the radical things and be countercultural, like what Thomas has shared. So this chase, right, you can see it's not an easy one. And before I share with you how we chase after God and why we should chase after God, let's watch the short clip. Now you can watch the short clip. Yeah. Sorry, this a bit short though. I am. Hey, can you press to the next? Yeah, wait. Huh?
Is this one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Then you must press the play. Is it playing? It's not playing.
Get out your checkbook, you skin flame!
The one and only Iron Will.
Was it a nice video? Okay. So how's the video? How y'all find it? You enjoy it? Or do you all don't like the words there? You don't like the words of God, huh? Oh, yeah? Yeah, so, okay. Yeah, okay, glad you all like enjoyed it. Alright, so actually, right, this movie is actually a very old movie. It's a very old clip, and I'm not that old, okay? So it's not because I'm old that I found this old clip. Yeah, I actually like chanced upon it while I was just like randomly searching for like videos to show y'all lah, cause yeah, if not I think y'all be bored and everything. Yeah. So to give a brief summary, this guy that you saw right running the race he's called William lah, and he took part in this sled dog race. You know, it only happens in like countries like Canada or countries with snow. Obviously, Singapore doesn't have it. Yeah, that's quite sad. And Singapore doesn't have enough treacherous terrains for them to run over as well. Yeah, so basically this race, right, they cover very long distances and they have to run across very dangerous slopes and everything. And so along the way, there's actually one competitor who actually tried to sabo like the rest of the people who were competing. And that's why, you know, you saw in the video that William actually has a lot of scars and he's wounded and injured actually. And actually his dog, you know, the dog that barked, you know, the first one, yeah, was also injured as well, if you watch like another clip then on YouTube and everything. Yeah, so as you all saw, right, he collapsed towards the end of the race, the last part. When he was just about to reach, he actually collapsed and fell. He fell and almost was going to give up if not for the encouragement of the people who cheered him. And in the end, he charged till the end and won just by that close margin. You know how close it was? You all saw? Yeah. And yes, there was the verses that was shown. Yeah, so just to show you all what the verse was again. It's actually Hebrews 12, verse 1 to 2. And you know, we saw in the video, right, how William ran with so much, with all that endurance. He persevered. And he was definitely, you know, in his mind, you know, when people were cheering him, there's probably just something going on in his mind, and he's just looking towards an end, and he's running his best towards it. Well, he's not the one running technically, it's his dogs, but he actually, went on, you know, to chase after that, something that he has in mind. And whereas, right, if we look at the bad guy that I mentioned, the guy who saboed like everyone else, this bad guy is, according to a proverb, someone who is chasing evil, chasing bad. Like he may be chasing to win the prize, but his motivation, his reason, you know, for that was just wrong. And at the end, you see how he lost, and William won instead. He didn't. So that, in a sense, was the bad guy's death, that he lost the race. And William, on the other hand, he represents the person who chases righteousness and who gets the prize in the end. So people, we are called to pursue God, and it's definitely a race we must run with endurance. And let nothing come and distract us. So chasing God means what? Means we desire to reach Him, we desire to fix our eyes on Him. And to do that, you know, we can only have that personal relationship with Him. Every day, just talk to Him and read His Word. Let Him be a part of our lives. And along the way, the enemy can come and influence us negatively, you know, to chase after everything else except God. So for example, like even coming here today, you know, like some of us may have been tempted, you know, to go for something else. Like maybe our friends want to go out and they say, hey, come on, just don't go for church now. Why church on Friday? And I thought church on Sundays. Yeah, and sometimes, these are like little things, can come and hinder us and distract us and cause us to just lose our sight of God. And we really need to be on guard against them. And so now I give you 3 reminders, 3 reasons why we chase God. Okay, so previously we had 3 reasons why we chase endlessly. Right now it's 3 reasons why we should be chasing God. Okay. So the first one, because He's first loved and pursued us. In 1 John 4:19, it says, we love Him because He first loved us. God has always pursued us first. From the very long time ago with the Israelites, He's always been calling the Israelites back to Him. Until now, He's always seeking to ask us, to fix our eyes upon Him. And He sent Jesus down to us to be among us and to die for us. It's also part of how He's constantly, just pursuing us first. Okay? So, you see how God just seeks to be part of our lives, right? So, rather than stubbornly pursuing all those other things with wrong motivations and wrong reasons, chase after God instead, because He is first chased. He's already chasing us. And the second reason, because Jesus has forgiven us. Jesus endured the cross and suffered for us. He was scorned and shamed, all for our sakes. And He was pierced for our transgressions, as Isaiah wrote, in Isaiah 53. And that's just enough reason for us to chase after Him, right? Such unconditional love, such unconditional forgiveness towards us, who, we are so undeserving of His mercy and His grace in our lives, but yet He just came to pay the price for us and just forgive us for all that we have done, all that we are still doing, and all that we will continue to do because we are still human. But Jesus has forgiven us. And thirdly, which is also the last thing, He's called us to fear and to glorify Him. It's been mentioned several times in Deuteronomy, fear the Lord and serve Him with all your heart, with all your soul. And to glory in Him, to consider everything else as rubbish, as Paul says, but to give all glory to God. So put away our fears of men and fear the Lord instead. Because fearing men would just cause us to go on a never-ending chase, but fearing God and glorifying Him in our lives will get us chasing after His ways, and we'll see His blessings day by day. And I've definitely seen His blessings in my own life. And how I just, after, all along I always feared people's views about me. That's why, I had those issues with my, the grades and everything. And also another thing is when I enter new environments, I'm actually a very careful person. And, I don't open up myself so much. Not like today, I think I'm more of a clown than I've been for the last few years that I've been in this church. Yeah. So, but you see, God's just been teaching me to let go, and trust in Him. And it's only because of Him in my life, because I desired to fear Him, to glorify Him. That's why I'm just going to let go and do what He asked me to do. And so people just fear Him, fear God, and don't fear men. Don't fear what somebody else is thinking about you right now. Don't fear what they are saying about you or what they are talking behind your back. I don't know if there's anyone doing that in your lives right now, but don't fear them. But use your life to glorify God, in all that you do. So, chase after God, and He's calling us to. And it's always important, I know y'all like hear all these 3 things that I just mentioned like countless of times already, and you're probably like, why are you sharing this again? Like pastors said this, other people have shared this before, but it's important, why? Because remember in the story that I shared in 2 Samuel, right? Like, even though Abner managed to stop Joab the first time from chasing him, but what happened? Joab still chased him another time, right? In the second time round. There are many reasons, there are all these different reasons that keeps us going on these endless chases in our lives, And it is so important, to constantly renew our minds, because we are just constantly in this struggle against what the enemy is trying to do in our lives and trying to distract us. So it says we are just in this constant struggle of chasing after everything else except God. And we rather put like those pursuits before the pursuit of God. But so there is this need, for us to renew our minds daily, transform our minds, renew our minds, and remember each day, just fill ourselves with the new, with the word of God, that says, that I love you, I've forgiven you, and you will glorify me. And so we need it every day, and it's not going to be your individual journey. Every one of us in this community are going to stand together with each other to help along the way, just as how the supporters were cheering the guy on during the race. So to end off, right, I'll just share like one last story very fast. Okay, it's about this person I know who evidently chased God, and he's Pastor Tan, who was he was the pastor who brought my parents to Christ, actually. And he's just recently like gone home to be with the Lord. And at his memorial service, I wasn't there, but like my sister and my parents who went, and they came back and told me about it. And I heard that many people who shared about him, right, shared that he was this guy who they know as a faithful servant of God who went to like plant churches in like many places, many parts of Malaysia or Indonesia and stuff, like the Philippines even, I think. And like he just went and on ahead, without fearing whatever opposition that he faced with the other people who were with him at that time. And so he just wanted to chase after God. He was just so on fire for God and so passionate about letting God be known, to the world, to the people, to everyone, every part of this world. And that was his faith. That was his passion for Jesus. And he really just let go of everything that hinders, and he fixed his eyes on Jesus. So, I was just thinking, like, without Pastor Tan, who did all this, and like went around sharing the gospel of Jesus with people because he wants to chase after Jesus. He wouldn't have brought my family to Christ, and I wouldn't even be like here standing here in the first place, sharing this with all of y'all. Because I don't know what would become. I don't know what would have been the Lord's plan if that wasn't how my family came to know Christ. And so, that's just what I want to share with you today. And this question comes back again, even though you all don't know what's vector space. But I still want to ask it. What is in your vector space? What do you want to include in it? What do you want to chase? What are you chasing currently in your life? Is it other things? Or is it God? Is it your friends? Is it approvals? Is it looks? Is it a successful career in the future? Money? Is it just wanting to be accepted? Okay. So just think about it, and maybe let's just pray, close our eyes and pray now. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Lord. Thank you. As you take this time now, just you and God alone. Just talk to God. And whatever you've heard tonight, about the reasons of why we are chasing after stuff or after people, ask God, and tell God that whatever it is that you are chasing right now, if there is anything, lay it before Him. There may be some of you here, that you probably are chasing after people's approval, chasing to get accepted by people. And there's some of us here who probably are just facing difficulties and facing obstacles in their lives, just trying to reach to God. Even though we want to, but sometimes it's still hard. So for these people, would you not just lift your hands to God right now? Lift it up to God and lift up the issue that you're facing, lift up it up to God, because He is the God Almighty, and He is the God who promises He will deliver. Sorry. Father God, Lord, I just want to commit, Lord Father, even those of us here, Lord Father, who are just lost in this world, lost by what the world tells us and ask us to chase after, and especially, Lord, the approval of people, Lord Father, in our lives. And Father God, I just want to pray, Lord, for us, Lord Father, as we are here, God, that we would just want to come before you and just want to commit those of them who are feeling this way right now. I just want to pray, Lord Father, that God, that your love would be shown to them. Your love would be felt by them. That, Lord, that they would understand and know and grasp the depth of your love for them, that they know that all they need to do is to fear you instead of fear of man. And all they need to do is to lay hold of the promise of life you've given to them.
of your word that says you love them. You love them so much, God.